All right, we're here as the Lost Rider Podcast. Good morning and welcome to this weekend's edition, News from the Camp House. This weekend's edition is also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club, country club folks who don't have a country club. All right, we're getting an update this morning from Nueces River Authority. Mr. John Byrum, he's the executive director of Nueces River Authority, is also the update is about the seawater desal plant down at Harbor Island. That's Port Aransas. And, you know, there's been a lot of conjecture, been a lot of talk, and we're getting an update. Mr. Byrum, how you doing this morning?
Doing well, Herman. Thanks for having us on again. We appreciate this opportunity.
Well, everybody needs it. Everybody needs an update, know where we're at. Tell me how's that going?
You know, we're excited. We have just received notice about 3 weeks ago from the Texas Water Development Board that we'll be getting a grant so that we can start the engineering on the project, what we're calling phase one of the project. We have done a little bit of the pre-developmental engineering up to this point, and we need to refine that some, just kind of give you an idea. We currently have a tunnel coming under Redfish Bay from Harbor Island into the mainland there in Aransas Pass. And it's showing that tunnel is about 80 feet below the surface. We're wanting to shallow that up a little bit. So we're going to do some more geotechnical work in the area and take a look to see if we can go back up to about 40 feet or so, which is what we're going to do under the Gulf with our brine and our diversion line. So we're going to get that engineering started and then work on the pump station engineering some and the conveyance engineering to get water up into San Patricio County in the Coastal Bend area where they really need water bad.
All right, let's translate that just a little bit. So the discharge, the intake and discharge is going to be in a pipeline 40 feet below the floor of the Gulf.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is exactly what we were planning, and that engineering will be taking place simultaneously with the discharge, the potable water, the clean water discharge line up to San Pat County. All that'll be working at the same time.
Okay. What are you hearing? What's the public discourse down there?
You know, we've got some distractors. We've got some people that don't want the project, and they're very vocal about it. You know, and it's been hard to convey the message in a straight line where people, you know, aren't confused with those distractors that are, what I'm saying, not carrying the full message. And so, yeah, it's been a little confusing for folks, but here's the bottom line. This Friday, we will I've got an agenda put together for the board of directors meeting, and I will be asking the board of directors to approve our development partner. And that is the person, you know, this is always put together in a public-private manner, okay, where the private partners would develop the desal project, the plant itself, okay, the seawater desal treatment plant. They will finance, design, and operate that facility. And we have proposed to the board that they sign a pre-development agreement with IDE, and they have formed a subsidiary which is called the Harbor Island Desal Partners. And these people have massive experience. They have over 60 years experience in the seawater desal venue, and they have also built over 400 plants around the globe. So they know what they're doing when it comes to seawater desal. And they treat about 10.5 billion gallons of drinking water a day around the world. And we are excited that they have submitted to work with us. And we look forward to working. The board's decision hopefully will be to work with them. And we look forward to that if that indeed takes place this Friday.
All right, I'll translate again. You've got companies from the Middle East that are helping you build this.
We've got companies that are based in the Middle East, but they have American branches, and we're dealing with their American branch based out of New York City.
Okay, all right. The detractors, their main thing is worried about discharge?
There has been some that was worried about that. There's just some down there that don't want to pay for the price of water. What they feel like is that this desal water is being developed solely for industry. And that's just not true. You know, okay. What we're doing, we have like 1.5 million gallons a day out of this 100 million gallons going to 2 small industrial customers, but the rest of it is purely for municipal water users.
All right, let's wait. Let's back up here just a little bit. I think in our first interview we talked about most of this would be industrial use, but since that time, the data center controversy has come up, and that's what I'll bet you dollar to donuts. That's what people are concerned about. That there's going to be this big project, and whatever it is, it's going to take the pressure off of the water that's being used for industry and municipal currently, correct?
That is totally right, Herman. And the more water we take out of the big pond, the Gulf of America,
yep,
and distribute that up into the basin, the more return flows actually come out and enter the streams within the Nueces Basin, the Nueces River, the Fierro River, the Atascosa River. Those are actually receive a benefit from this too, because there will be added stream flows returning to the basin. So it's not only going to take the pressure off the lakes and the current aquifers up in the area. Some of that pressure will be relieved, but it will certainly help with return flows in the streams.
All right, there's got to be some kind of way, some kind of consideration that we need to get this word to the public. Just having these little old hearings, I don't know if you get enough people to those things. It's like you almost got to have some type of a campaign to make people pay attention and understand how stuff works.
You're exactly right. And it's difficult to put something together that will be printed in the exact manner and exact format in which you have it drafted, So, we're working on those ideas, and I think the overwhelming majority of the people realize what we're doing and realize that the project's beneficial for the area. It's those few detractors that are, have the vocal voices, and they sometimes print portions of what they want to print, and it
take it
sticks to the wall.
Take it out of context.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, well, that's not everybody's been watching this for 30 years the way we have here on the radio. We've absolutely been talking about this since this show started back in 2000, and it was all too expensive to even think about. But okay, everybody's happy right now with the deep water intake and discharge?
We have not heard but just one or two complaints about that, and the majority of the complaints that were at the hearing held by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality dealt with the frequency of reporting. The TCEQ permit only required an annual report from us to them, telling them what the discharge compliance was. So now we have increased that to monthly reporting, and we will put that on a website where people can go and visit that website. It's accessible by the public. Visit that website, actually view the compliance measures that are and the testing that's being taken each month, and look at that and respond as you know, and see if that it is in compliance with the permit. That's the main thing we're concerned with.
Well, it's public access. Anything the public wants to know about what you're doing and how it turns out, it will be on the internet. They can look at it. There it is, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. We want transparency all the way through.
All right. I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break and thank the folks who let us come on here every Saturday morning. We'll be right back.